And today I want to show you how you can have a home-based business.
Do you have a small-scale farm and are looking for some profitable as well as creative ideas besides the obvious growing fruits and vegetables? Running as well as maintaining a profitable small farm is not an easy feat. Although you get to be your own boss and dictate your hours, it also means you are responsible for the entire operation. Life as a farmer requires knowledge, commitment, and a lot of back-breaking work. The good news is there are plenty of options if you want to create additional resources, and we're going to discuss all of them here. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. A good way to earn more money with your farm is to grow gourmet as well as medicinal mushrooms. Although mushrooms are a crop that most people hardly consider when talking about farming, it can be a very lucrative business. There's a big demand for mushrooms nowadays, and there's a lack of supply in most places. Of course, it pays to do your research first as to the areas that need more mushrooms. Growing mushrooms can make good use of vertical space so that you can have high yields even if you have a small area. A single room is adequate for the growth of a full-time's income of mushrooms. In addition, mushrooms have a rapid growth cycle, and you can get multiple harvests in the same time it takes to grow a single season of corn or wheat. That being said, it's also important to know that mushrooms are more labor-intensive and take more time to harvest compared to traditional crops, such as tomatoes. If you want to go even farther, you can opt to grow a specialty type of mushrooms because there is more money to be made there compared to mushrooms you see in all the grocery stores. Another excellent option is to grow microgreens. Microgreens are the stage plants go through before they become a baby green, but after they sprout. It's the in-between stage that only takes a couple of weeks to grow, and they have huge amounts of flavor and nutrition. Similar to mushrooms, they don't require lots of space. You can start microgreens on a small scale with just a couple of trays in your greenhouse or basement. You can then scale up your business as your confidence and the demand grows. Microgreens can be sold at farmers markets or directly to customers. Restaurants love to use microgreens not only as an ingredient for their dishes, but also for garnish. They are an excellent way for small-scale farmers to grow something in the winter when it's too cold to grow other crops. Your farm can also become an excellent wedding venue. The nature of events, more specifically weddings, is changing. In today's time, the average cost of weddings is unrealistic for many. Not everyone has the proclivity to spend obscene amounts of money on a single day. Some would like to stay realistic and use the money for other things, such as starting a life together. There are plenty of couples today who are looking for alternative ways to celebrate their nuptials without breaking their bank. Others would prefer smaller and more intimate spaces in lieu of expensive and grand wedding banquets. More casual spaces, such as small farms, have taken the spotlight as micro-weddings have become the trend. You can consider starting a wedding venue or events space that will allow couples to celebrate their special day affordably. Micro-wedding packages can be offered on a shoestring budget that will entice couples. Aside from weddings, you can also host meetings and other types of gatherings. Depending on the level of services you want to provide, you can supply chairs, tables, and other necessities. You can also help supply the refreshments to your guests. Another option is to rent cabins and tiny houses online. If you've ever checked out Airbnb, then you'll know that the vacation and getaway rental business is booming. Well, at least before the global health situation hit. The tourism sector is set to get back on its feet once vaccinations are rolled out all over the world. After all, people are itching to travel and discover new places after being shut in from the rest of the world for a year. You can consider building a tiny cabin or house on your property. Yes, it costs some money to put up a new structure, but what you need to do to distinguish yourself from others is to market your small business within a business. Although for someone who's spent most of their time on a farm, such a lifestyle isn't exciting. But the good thing is, city dwellers look forward to spending time away from the hectic pace of the metropolis. Most of them are looking forward to spending time in nature away from a lot of distractions. If your farm is within a couple of hours' drive from the urban center, it will be even more attractive. You can also consider providing extras such as home-cooked meals using ingredients fresh from your farm. You can also try beekeeping. Bees are important to the ecosystem because not only do they produce honey, everyone loves honey, they also pollinate a majority of the crops we consume daily. Over the last few years, there have been a substantial decline in the bee population, and saving them is imperative. This eco-friendly pursuit is something that you can do on your small farm. Beekeeping also helps open up a few revenue streams. First and foremost, you can sell honey and beeswax-based products online or in a farm store. You may also check with local merchants to see if they would like to carry your products. Another possible revenue stream is opening up your farm for tours, classes, and other experiences that have something to do with bees. One of the best things about beekeeping is that it doesn't require a massive space, so it's a sound option for those that have small farms. Setting up a beehive doesn't cost a lot of money. You can start with as little as $1,000, and this includes everything such as bees, bee boxes, clothing, and equipment. You may grow herbs too. An herb farm can be started and run part-time with a startup cost that's only about $2,000. It's a great option for those who have limited funds to spare. However, if you live somewhere cold, you need to invest in a greenhouse so that you can grow herbs throughout the year. Herbs can also be grown in urban farms, as well as hydroponics. They don't have to be strictly grown on a conventional farm. Herbs can be sold as is or marketed in a variety of products such as bath products, candles, teas, as well as different aromatherapy essences. Some of the most profitable herbs you can grow are chives, basil, lavender, chamomile, cilantro, parsley, oregano, St. John's wort, and catnip. If you're also growing other vegetables, herbs can help keep the bugs away. Not only do you make money, but you also save money on pesticides and ensure your herbs are safe. Introduce a little cluck 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 with chicken and eggs. Most small farms already have chickens that produce their eggs, and this is because it's fairly easy to do and nothing beats the taste of fresh eggs produced on your own premises. However, if you haven't thought of it, it's something you need to seriously consider. You can begin the process by purchasing day-old chicks. However, if you're getting chicks primarily to produce eggs, we suggest you buy young hens that are about 18 weeks old because they're just about ready to start laying eggs. This eliminates the risk of raising the chicks yourself. Hens must be kept for 1 year before they're sold as cull hens or slaughtered. Keep in mind that after a year, egg production slows down, and there will come a time when they stop laying eggs altogether. Cull hens can be sold for about the same price as a new replacement pullet, so you can consider the eggs they produce for a year as your profits. You may also look into grass-feeding chickens as they produce better tasting meat and eggs compared to chicken grown in large-scale factories. If you have a small-scale farm, you won't need to give your chicken antibiotics. However, they should still be fully vaccinated against various diseases common to poultry. Your broiler chicken, as well as eggs, can be sold in a local farmer's market or directly to restaurants as well as consumers. Snail farming is another avenue you can explore. We all know what you think. Ew, but there's money to be had in snail farming. Heliciculture, as it's called, is a big deal because many people all over the world consume snails. Cue the escargot in Paris. Furthermore, the dish is popular globally and there aren't many suppliers. In the US alone, over $4 million worth of snails are imported annually, and this includes both live and fresh snails, as well as the frozen variety. It's a huge market that's waiting to be explored. Snails can choose if they want to be male or female, so breeding is an easy process and happens automatically. You need special garden beds that are surrounded by mesh fence so that snails can't escape. They are mostly fed with leafy greens that act both as their home and food source. Snails are best grown at a density of 1 kilogram per square meter. Keep in mind that they also won't breed if they are packed too densely or if there's too much slime. Aside from escargot, snail farming has other products which can generate revenue. Snail slime is used as an ingredient in a lot of beauty products, and snail eggs are also sold as snail caviar. Snail caviar isn't cheap. It sells for at least $100 for a small jar, which is about 2 tablespoons worth. It reportedly tastes just as good as baked mushrooms or asparagus. We haven't tried it though, so we can't really tell. Do you have any other ideas for profitable things to do with farms? We'd love to hear about it. Share it with us in the comments section. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.